Okay, we are going to talk about how to create an AMS ad, which is an Amazon ad. This is an ad that is going to be displayed on Amazon.com. And this is the process of how to do it. First, I'm logged in right now to KDP.Amazon.com. So you can either click Promote and Advertise. This is if you have a book that's already in KDP Select. If you don't, you can hit this little button here and then say Promote and Advertise. It used to be that these ads were only available if you were in KDP Select, but now it's available either way. So, so this is interesting and not what I expected, but as you can see, this area is grayed out. It says, at this time, books that contain mature or erotic content are not available for advertising. I find that very interesting, and I don't know what caused this book to be flagged, but that's fine. That wasn't the book I was planning on running an ad for anyways. So let's try a different book. Let's try this book right here, Hidden Seams. I'm going to click Promote and Advertise, then create an ad campaign. It's going to prompt you to log in, and then once you're logged in, you have two options, sponsored products or product display ads. And as you can see here, product display ads are ads that show up here in this section, but also on Kindle readers. When the Kindle goes to sleep, it's the screensaver that displays on the reader, which can be a really powerful place. So first, let's do a product display ad. These ads are super easy to set up. You really can't go wrong. I'm going to say by product, and then I can target specific products or related categories. So related categories, for example, would be like all romantic comedies or all contemporary romance. So this is a very broad category. So what I typically do is I'm set up multiple ads. So for example, I'll do one right now for contemporary romance. Actually, I'm doing it wrong there. Contemporary romance. And even though I chose romantic comedy as a category, honestly, this book isn't, well, it is kind of funny. But I wouldn't call it a romantic comedy, so I'm not going to do that. Choose a name, and always choose a name that actually tells you something so you can find out about it later on. So I'm going to title this PDA for product display ad. And then contempt romance category. Now I always set my CPC to a fairly high amount, and then you can always lower it later on. I'm going to set it 1 cent over the average bid just so it gets some action, and then set a campaign budget. So while other AMS ads are per day, this is just a lifetime budget. So I'm just going to set $100 as a lifetime budget and see what happens. You can choose your start and end time. I'm going to say run as quickly as possible. If you spread it evenly over the duration, oftentimes you'll get a lower cost per click, but I'm not really concerned with that right now. Okay, in this section, you're going to customize your ad. You have room for a headline and text. And these ads do not give you a lot to work with, but what's really nice is this preview. So I created the headline, "He lived a secret life and she could end it all." And then text, I put the story of a billion-dollar fortune and the seduction, lies, and betrayal that surround it. Now, in the actual blurred copy, I have the sex, lies, and betrayal that surround it. But AMS ads are super particular, and they love like turning down your ad because they think that it's too adult in nature. So I wanted to keep this text as clean as possible and prevent anything that might cause it to be flagged for being too racy. Now you'll notice here it says characters remaining 55. I could type several more things. Originally I had from a New York Times bestseller. But when I looked at this preview, this was way too much text for me, and I felt like my eyes just glossed over it as a user. So I deleted this, kept it shorter, and that way, in my mind, this really stood out more. So some of the things that are really nice about these previews are that 2 of them at least share the price. So what I like about that is it eliminates people clicking on the ad who maybe wouldn't purchase a $4.99 ebook. So that's really nice. This 300 by 250 shows the price and the reviews, which is great. It does just show the headline. It does not show the text. This one shows the headline, no text. It does give the price, but doesn't give the reviews. And then this one gives the headline, text, but no price. But either way, all three of them share the book cover, even though this one's really tiny. So that's really nice because it's, even if people aren't clicking on your ad, that book cover is being displayed to them and it's kind of hammering them over and over again with that cover. So that is awesome. All right, and so then you just click submit campaign for review. It's done. Now, AMS is fairly slow, so them approving your ad could take up to 72 hours. Normally for me, it takes about 2 days, and oftentimes my ads are rejected, but you just want to try again. Okay, now we're back in this screen. Because it doesn't remember where we came from, this time we have to search for the book. So the book was Hidden Seams. Okay, so last time we chose by product and then we chose target related categories. This time we're going to choose by product and target specific products. So here's where you would enter other books that you think are similar to your title, and it will target those specific products. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have a great deal of other books. And this is different than keywords. For example, I could choose to target all of my novels. So that would show up with all of my novels. I'm not in love with that idea. I'd really like to target other authors' books. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm going to try to find 10 or 15 other books that I think are similar to Hidden Seams and that readers would be interested in, and then I'm going to come back and continue this video. Okay, so I've added 18 books here, and just a side note, oftentimes when I search for a title, like for example, go with Moonshot, it displays the paperback. I do not know why it does this. It's aggravating. So don't use this search field. Just search on Amazon, click on something, and then go down here and highlight the ASIN number. Copy that. I copied it by hitting Command C. You could probably right click on it. And then insert the ASIN number here, and that'll bring up the Kindle edition. You don't want to advertise your Kindle ebook on a paperback. Vice versa, you could advertise your paperback on a paperback. So don't think of ASIN as necessarily just Kindle edition, though I think you might have to pub your paperback through KDP in order to get advertising for it. So that's, if what I just said made absolutely no sense, completely ignore it. And then once you do it, be sure you hit this add button. I don't want to add this because this book, I mean, I might as well add it, whatever. But that book isn't necessarily the best fit for me. Okay, and then you're going to choose your campaign settings. So again, you want to change this to something that makes sense. So this is also a product display ad, and then this is specific titles. And then again, do your cost per click and campaign budget. And again, this is just a big budget that will run as quickly as possible. So, and then again, you want to customize your ad. So I'm going to pause this video while I do that. All right, in this one I changed the headline since I targeted pretty much all indie authors, and the indie author world is one where my name is much more well known than maybe just the giant romance category. I changed the headline to say the newest from New York Times bestseller, Alessandra Torre, and then I used the same text from the other. And then I'm going to preview it from both. And I'm not certain, for some reason, I don't think it lets me use an exclamation point. So I'm going to take out the exclamation point there. And then you'll submit campaign for review. Okay, so now let's build a product display ad by interest, and this is a really cool ad because this is the ad that's the screensaver on a Kindle if you have an old school or an original, an actual Kindle like a Paperwhite or a Fire or something like that. So you'll select the book to advertise, you click by interest, and then you choose a category. And so far this seems very similar, if you recall, to when we did by product and by interest, but this ad is going to look different, and that's therein lies the difference. I changed the campaign name to PDA by interest, which is product display ad by interest, contemporary romance, and the cost per click here is lower than with the other type of ad, so that's something interesting to notate. I still set my budget at $100. I want to run the campaign as quickly as possible, and then here I'm going to build my ad. But let me scroll down so you can see. This is the difference, how this looks, and isn't that just a gorgeous ad? I love this ad. It's one of my favorite ads. And here you can see also you still have these same ads, that look like this. The Kindle e-reader is the one that I always really hope that I get. And you can see here it's also at the bottom here. So it's the bottom here or it's the home page. And you really want to hope that you get the home page because that's the best ad you can possibly get. All right, let me build my ad. And just to mix things up, I did change the headline and text on this one. And I previewed it on all screens. My most important one to know how it showed up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and submit campaign for review. Okay, so in 15 minutes we set up 3 ads, all product display ads, all for the same book. And you can see them here, they're all pending review. So I'm going to come back in a couple of days. Once they're approved, or if they haven't been approved, I'm going to tweak them and resubmit them for approval. And then the most important thing is to come back and then see how they've done. So right now I'm going to take a moment and look at ads that I currently have running and see how they did. Okay, so the first one that we have is the sponsored product ad. It's for the ghostwriter. It started a little over a month ago, and it's a daily spend. So sponsored product ads are daily spend. So I have a daily budget of $15, and you can see here that I'm paying an average of 24 cents a click, which is a great price for on the Amazon site. I've spent $325 in total, and it has generated $1,250 of total sales, which is awesome. That's an awesome return, and you can see here it calculates it at 26%. I'm currently spending in ads about 26% of what I'm making. So I absolutely love that cost of sale percentage. So I'm going to keep this running. And I actually had this set at a $10 daily budget, but it prompted me. I got an email that said, hey, you could spend more and we can deliver. So I said, absolutely. So I shifted it up to $15, and I would increase it more if it can handle it. But I'm going to leave it alone. It's working. I'm not going to mess with anything that's working. So that is this first ad. Again, that's a sponsored product ad for the ghostwriter. Also, check your end date. It automatically assigns an end date that's like 2 months out. I guess it runs for 2 months. But I'd like to keep this ad going, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and bump that out if it continues performing this well. Okay, now scrolling down, I've got 2 other sponsored ads running, and they both, again, this one prompted me to increase it, so I increased it to 17. This is still set at 10. My cost per clicks look awesome. With this one I've spent a little more, $725 roughly, but it's generated almost $3,000 in sales. This one, $223, it's generated $886 in sales. So both of those average cost of sales percentages are very low, so I'm super happy about that. This is another one that did really well. It has ended, but it was a 19 cents cost per click. It didn't spend much. It only spent $4, but it gave me $35 of revenue. So I'll take $35 revenue any way I can get it. So I'm really happy with that. And these are all ended, but just so you know, like let's take a look at this one. I mean, this one, the average cost was $600. I spent $47 and it only gained $8 in sales. So that was a product display ad that did not work for me. But I noticed it early. You can see here, originally my budget was $300. I stopped that ad after it spent $48, $47.90. So it's important for you to keep an eye on your ad. If I had not noticed this, it would have kept running and would have spent all $300, and I might not have generated, hardly anything in income. So it's very important that you come back every couple of days, if not every day, and just check on your ads, see what's performing, see what's not, and tweak the ones that are working for you. This was a product display ad. Another one just to compare two product display ads. This budget was only $100. My average cost per click is 39 cents, which isn't terrible compared to like Facebook if I know for a fact they're on the site and looking for a book. And it did return some investment. I spent $4 and made $8, but this cost per sales percentage compared to my other ads is so much higher. So I would probably lower the budget on this and increase the budget in other places. And as you can see, I ran it for a whole month and it only spent $4. So it's not really going to spend a ton if it's not seeing a result. And that's how you review ads.